Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having a Sagittarius Sun and an Aries Ascendant in a natal chart. Now, obviously, these two signs are compatible by sign. They are trine by sign. They're both fire signs. They're both extroverted and gregarious. And they both obviously have a fiery temperament. They could be very spontaneous. And of course, they have that fiery, disputatious kind of nature. Now, as far as the way these signs, I mean, you can go, this could be a very, I guess you could say like a very adventurous type. This could be a person that brings this Sagittarius Sun exuberance into some Aries activity, into some activities that may be defined as courageous or competitive. This could be a person, Sagittarius Sun can be rather philosophical to say the least. And the thing is, if they run into somebody that gets into a dispute with them over their philosophies or opinions or ideas about something, you might see them go about this in a rather combative Aries rising or ascendant manner. But this is really a type that can be very upbeat and one that's not necessarily going to give up. But although Aries ascendant can be somewhat impatient, and the reason Aries is similar to Gemini is something. Gemini is more, I think, because Gemini's mercurial nature is why they go from one thing to another due to their restlessness. But the Aries is just more of an impatience, why they don't always have that persistence and follow through on things. Well, anyway, the sun in our natal charts can represent our basic ones, and the rising sign or ascendant can represent the manner or method in which one attains these basic ones. So, for Sagittarius Sun, the basic ones can be connected perhaps with higher education, going to college, perhaps for being that perpetual learner, always wanting to know more, understanding perhaps broad concepts of philosophy, religion, perhaps traveling, exploration could be things, and really wanting to expand their horizons. And it could be things connected with the outdoors. Now, having an Aries ascendant, this person may go about this in a very aggressive and assertive and forceful way, and will be one to be very assertive regarding their philosophical nature. It matters if this person does pursue something as far as furthering their high school education. They will go about it in a very direct Aries ascendant type manner, most likely. And this is something. And also, as far as being that perpetual learner, this could be a person that the Sagittarius Sun wants, being that perpetual learner, perhaps. And this person could be, if they don't get something right away, Aries Ascendant is not one to be discouraged that quickly. So despite Aries' lack of persistence at times, it won't be because, if they stop something, it won't be because they were necessarily discouraged. It'll be because of certain impatience, perhaps. Now, this person might pursue something and become more learned, so to speak, in things, and perhaps maybe through an Aries like profession, such as firefighting, something connected with fire, such as arson, fire investigation, something that involves maybe vigorous sports competition. Both these signs can be very athletically inclined and have an affinity for sports. So this could be that person that likes to pursue. Might be very athletically inclined. Could be something connected with metals. This is a person that might really go about, like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't a legendary Rich Little comedian? Wasn't he? I think he was a Sagittarius with Aries rising, and he really went about, I guess, really that jocular and jovial and comical Sagittarius Sun perhaps was pursued in a way maybe very aggressively, and wanting to be really like an Aries Ascendant type leader in that kind of position, and in attention seeking, which I think Aries rising can be. But like I said, I don't know 100% if that was his combination, but I'm pretty sure that he did he was a Sagittarius Sun with an Aries Ascendant, and I found that very interesting. Well, anyway, people, it's important to look at the aspect, if any, is made between the Sun in Sagittarius and the Aries Ascendant, as this could show how these energies may integrate, and if how well they will and whether they may or may not as well. So anyway, they are trine by sign, but if you have a trine aspect, this could accentuate the positive qualities and positive integration and blending even more. Let's say you have the Sagittarius Sun at 14 degrees and an Aries Ascendant at 12 degrees. That would form a trine aspect, which is auspicious, and could have a very positive blending of this energy, and will even accentuate and reinforce the positive energy working together and amalgamating very well. Now, however, you can have an out of sign inconjunct or out of sign square aspect. If you have, let's say, for example, on the inconjunct, out of sign inconjunct aspect, you could have, let's say, if the Sagittarius Sun was 1 degree and the Aries Ascendant was 29 degrees, that would form an out of sign inconjunct aspect, which would be adverse or adversarial. And even though the signs are still compatible by sign, it's still there may be, even if this person isn't cognizant of their astrological placements, this could be something where maybe this person feels what they're projecting outwardly may be different than what is going on inside, and might feel misconstrued or misunderstood by others as a result, thus resulting perhaps in some inner exasperation and tension. Now, let's say you could have an out of sign square aspect take place as well. Let's say that the Sagittarius Sun is 28 degrees and the Aries Ascendant is 1 degree. Well, that would be adverse as well. And similarly, like the inconjunct, you might get those feelings of maybe feeling misconstrued or not quite understood by others, because this person might feel that whatever is going on outwardly, their outer demeanor, which is of course the ascendant, can be strongly different than what is going on inside. At least that's what they may feel anyway. Now, anyway, it's also important to look at the house placement of the Sun in Sagittarius, because even though the Aries rising may suppress the Sagittarius Sun energy to some degree, the Sagittarius Sun may still come out at least somewhat prominently in that particular house that it's placed in. Now, let's say that the Sun in Sagittarius is in the 7th house. Well, this person might express that buoyant, that jovial, jocular side, perhaps in matters connected with their partnerships and their relationships, and they may have that what me worry attitude in regards to things of a legal nature, say if there was a lawsuit filed against him or her. Now, let's say that if the Sun in Sagittarius was posited in the 8th house, well, this person might show this exuberance and this ebullience of Sagittarius, perhaps in matters connected perhaps with sex, perhaps with making some great transformation or change, or something with regeneration, and perhaps even in matters connected with others' resources as well. Now, let's say that the Sun in Aries, the Sun in Sagittarius, let's say if the Sun in Sagittarius, Sun in Sagittarius was posited in the 9th house. Well, this might diminish the energy to some degree, because the 9th house is a cadent house. But that being said, it's in the house that we could say that it's a house that corresponds with Sagittarius. So you still may get a little bit of a kind of double dose of Sagittarius energy, because it's in that house that corresponds with Sagittarius. And this could indicate that this person's that exuberance, that expansiveness, that optimism of the Sagittarius Sun might come out in matters connected with higher education, with philosophy, if religion, if applicable, and even if in-laws, if they do have them. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for having the Sun in Sagittarius and an Aries Ascendant in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having the Sun in Sagittarius and a Taurus Ascendant in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.